Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fury Fighting Championship 44. We are streaming live from the Bayou City Event Center on the Fury FC Facebook. We have a stacked card here tonight with kicking things off with some amateur fights. We're going to be kicking things off with some amateur fights. I am Todd Moore, calling the action here with Mr. AJ Hoffman and Mr. Alex Morano. We're going to be doing the prelims with kicking things off with a catch weight of 130 pounds.
Sure, thanks, Todd. First up, we got Guillen fighting Isaiah Delgado. Both guys looking to make a statement here in this amateur Fury championship. Next up, we have a flyweight bout with Joshua Thwang versus Americana Garcia. AJ?
Yeah, a couple of 145-pound fights as well. Zach Lowery taking on Justice Torres, and Tyler Magallon taking on Balderas.
Should be an awesome night of prelim action. And then don't forget to tune in to UFC Fight Pass at 4:30 p.m. Central Time to catch our main events in our main card as we got the Flyweight Championship of Silva versus Vergara.
All right, Houston, let's kick off the undercard for Fury Fighting Championship 44. Please welcome to the blue corner, Luke Guillen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're kicking things off here with our first fight of the evening as we got Luke Guillen getting the final touches from his coaches. I am Todd Moore, calling the action here with Mr. AJ Hoffman and Alex Morano, and you're seeing Fury Fighting Championship history. So we will be streaming live on UFC Fight Pass coming up at 4:30 p.m. There's our first match of the evening. Luke Guillen taking on Isaiah Delgado. Luke Guillen has already stepped in the cage, and he is ready for action. There we see 24 years of age taking on 17-year-old. I think for 17-year-olds, they have to get a special permission for the commission to be able to compete, so.
I think his mom had to sign off.
That's right. I actually went through that myself when I was 17.
True.
Nice. There he is, Isaiah Delgado making his way to the cage. Not much is known about this young man other than he trains at the Renzo Gracie Academy, and now he's going to be looking to have a successful mixed martial arts debut here.
Yeah, that Renzo Gracie team, it's a newer team around the Houston area, but they are decorated with a bunch of very experienced coaches and fighters themselves. They have a few fighters on this card tonight, and we know they've produced some really good talent out of that new gym.
There we see a shot of his opponent, Luke Guillen. Final touches from our cut man here tonight, Jace Petrie. He's going to be working that red corner. Isaiah Delgado with Lester Beatrice in his corner. And Lester, very dependable training partner, tough pro here in the Houston area, retired pro. So he's got a good man in his corner.
Yeah, oddly enough, Lester and I actually fought as amateurs. We've become friends and training partners since.
Yeah, Lester's definitely a good man to have in your corner. Both of these fighters are going to be looking for their very first mixed martial arts victory. There we see Delgado with the final touches. About to step inside the cage. We got two young fighters looking to make a statement here tonight. Isaiah Delgado, ready for action.
Is scheduled for 3 rounds of the Fury Amateur Series at a catch weight of 130 pounds. Introducing to you first, fighting out the blue corner. Standing 5'5" inches tall and weighted at 29.3 pounds. For one of the great men we follow tonight, seeks his first amateur victory. Introducing Luke Guillen. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed in at 129.2 pounds. This mixed martial artist fighting out of Pasadena, Texas tonight makes his amateur debut. This is Isaiah Izzy Delgado. Your referee in charge of the action, Joe Solis.
All right, Luke Guillen, Isaiah Delgado, kicking things off for here on Fury Fighting Championship 44. And our first fight is officially underway. Southpaw versus conventional matchup. Guillen coming out strong, backing up Delgado.
Guillen trying to make work with this straight left very early on.
See Delgado going high and low, trying to take his time. Nice. Couldn't finish it though. Guillen would try to jump in with the takedown after the combo.
It would benefit Guillen if he would use his jab just a bit more before he throws that left hand.
Landed there with a straight right, a straight left cross for that matter.
Alex, tell me what the nerves were like as a dude who fought at 17 years old. Was it different when you're 17 versus a grown man feeling?
Yeah, very nerve-wracking naturally, but the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, just like anything else. I mean, taking on grown men, still hasn't even developed his man strength yet, so, and he's looking solid though. There we see Guillen just coming in there with that straight left. And already see Delgado's face is red, but he answers back with his own right cross.
You know, if the southpaw spams that straight left too much, the orthodox fighter can try to time a slip to the outside and counter with the straight right himself, and that's what would just happen there.
Yeah, Guillen has been finding the money with that left hand, and we're still early in the fight. Delgado can't take too many of those. There we see Delgado try for a jump knee. Reinforced knees are illegal for the amateurs, but you can do an unreinforced knee to the face.
Yeah, there's not a huge difference between the amateur fights and pro fights. Naturally, no elbows, no twisting leg locks, so no heel hooks, and then no reinforced knees. But other than that, it's near identical.
Well, the 3-minute rounds is a pretty big difference.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. As far as strategy is concerned, a takedown can just eat up a whole round.
Yeah, it's easier for grapplers to have success as amateurs because 3 minutes, a takedown is almost the whole round. Obviously, we're not dealing with that issue right now.
You know, it was just in the last couple of years the Texas Commission actually made the change. A good combination there from Delgado.
Followed up that body shot.
But my first few fights as a pro in Texas were 3-minute rounds as well. They've thankfully changed the rules since, so we have 5-minute rounds for pros.
Yeah, regardless if they're making their debut or not. It used to be something as far as like you had to have X amount of fights for them to make it a 5-minute round fight, but now if you're pro, it's 5-minute rounds. There we see Delgado with a busted nose, eating those left hands from this past round.
You know, and credit to these relatively inexperienced amateurs. They're both throwing very straight punches. Generally, new guys will throw big, wide shots, and these guys have good discipline, good striking technique.
Well, and you saw Delgado work all the way through a combo. You know, that's a planned combo, and to go all the way through it and finish with a kick, that's good stuff for a guy making his debut specifically.
Final seconds in this round. Round 1 in the books. Probably have to say, arguably Guillen took the first half of the round. Delgado started evening things out towards the second half. It's going to be kind of a tight round to score, in my opinion.
I think the damage that Guillen was able to do with that straight left and the amount of left hands he landed give him that round.
Yeah, a lot of times in a close round, they'll just look at the two guys. And right now, you know, Guillen's wearing the damage a little bit better than Delgado is.
There we see legendary coach Saul Solis in the corner of Luke Guillen. Very experienced coach. He's coached world champions Tito Ortiz and Rico Rodriguez. Guillen looks really relaxed. I like that. He's got a smile on his face.
Guillen opting to stand up in between rounds.
Yeah, some fighters opt to do that to maybe not stiffen in their legs, and others like to do the psychological warfare and see if they can intimidate their opponent, saying that they don't need to sit down in between rounds. Round 2 underway in this southpaw versus conventional matchup. Guillen, the southpaw, meaning he's left-handed. Delgado, the righty. Nice combo there with Delgado. Now he's starting to find the rhythm for that. Once again, Guillen looking for that straight left hand.
Good counter lead hook there from Delgado.
Once again, we got Isaiah Delgado, 17-year-old from fighting here from Houston, Texas. Representing the Renzo Gracie Academy. Luke Guillen representing Metro Fight Club. Sauce Solis has been a staple here in Houston for a long time. He's been running a gym since I think the late 90s.
Yeah, Metro always has a lot of fighters here on these Fury cards.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to catch us on the main card at 4:30 Central Time as we are live on UFC Fight Pass. This opening amateur matchup between Luke Guillen and Isaiah Delgado has been a stand-up war the whole bout. Not a single takedown landed thus far. We're almost halfway into the fight.
Yeah, I'd like to see Delgado work that lead hook a bit more as Guillen keeps his lead hand, his right hand, a bit low.
I like Delgado's follow-up with the kicks. He's been finding some money on that on a couple of combos. He's been going low, he's been coming high. I'd like to see some more of that. There you see Delgado's face. Obviously, he's landed a couple of shots, had the bloody nose at the end of the first round. That could...
Oof, good shot there.
They try to train us in judging school to just to look at blood as just red sweats, to not let that influence your judgment call.
I was always confused. I think damage should be a factor in judging fights.
Well,
as that's our main goal.
Well, damage is, but like don't just base it off of seeing red, seeing blood.
The toughness of your facial skin shouldn't necessarily be a determining factor, is what I think what he's saying. But you're seeing big shots, and also just as a human, judging school telling you that or not, as a human, it's hard to look at a fight and say, oh, that guy's bleeding. He must be winning.
Maybe I should just overlook that. Yeah. 20 seconds left in this second round.
Again, Delgado's been using that lead left hook quite often. He can use that to set up that power, that round kick that he likes, and that straight right.
I actually like a lot of what I'm seeing out of Delgado, but I think what you said in the beginning is that the grown man strength, like feeling a grown man hitting you like that is a little bit different. And I think that there's a power edge right now with Guillen.
24-year-old Guillen taking on the 17-year-old Isaiah Delgado.
And you can see it in their frames. I mean, Guillen's just he's a bigger man.
Oh, yeah. It's just...
Generally, especially in amateurs, the younger fighters will compensate any strength with generally good technique. And that's something both of these guys are showing very well right now.
There we see Guillen going for that straight left hand. Delgado is able to answer back with a nice counter himself. There's that straight left hand that's been blooding up his face throughout this fight. So if you were to give Guillen the first round, kind of hard to score the second round.
This fight in general is tough to score. I mean, these guys are very even right now. So it'd be nice if we could get a big moment here, a knockdown, or even a takedown could really decide the fight.
If you're Lester right now, what are you telling your fighter in Delgado what he got to do in this round?
I would encourage to use that lead hook to set up his power round kick and his power straight right, and then really look to put some combinations together and do some damage.
I mean, do they feel comfortable to go to a decision, or they have to get the stoppage? I mean, you see Guillen coming on strong.
See, if I were Delgado here, with him pushing like that, I'd reach down and try to get a takedown. And like we said, you score a takedown in a close fight, that could really decide everything. And Guillen's being so aggressive right now, he's not even considering that a takedown's possible.
Guillen starting the closing round as strong as he did in the first round. You saw him land a big left cross there.
You know, the benefit of him perhaps using that jab a bit more stiff before he throws that left hand is he would cover more range.
Good shot.
Good counter there by Delgado, as you said.
There's that lead hook there from Delgado.
There he is.
That's what I was saying. A moment, rocking a guy that the judges see and go, oh, wow, that's a real change in the fight that we've been seeing. That could be what he needed.
Delgado coming alive now in the third round.
That's probably the most reaction either fighter has had from a strike. So that's a big shot.
Yeah, that scored big. We're going to see. they can close the deal, or if this is going to go to the judges. This is a tight fight, so if I was either coach, I'd be telling them, hey, man, we need the stoppage. Don't depend on these judges to call it the right way.
Another good check left.
I think if Delgado sits just a little bit lower and really plants his feet, he can use that counter lead hook to set up his bigger power shots.
And Isaiah's really sharp for a 17-year-old kid. Really good technique.
Yeah, very composed. Seems to be in great shape.
Yeah, stepping in the cage at 17 years old, you have to imagine he's probably had a lifetime of martial arts under his belt, just trying to grow into his man frame.
And like Alex mentioned, a new gym, but a gym full of guys that are very experienced and very talented, have a lot of knowledge to share.
Just under a minute left in this third round.
That's another good exchange for Izzy there.
I'll tell you, Guillen's pressure alone is helping him out with the scoring in this fight.
I think so too. But it's also opening him up to, I think he's eating the bigger shots in this third round for sure. So there. Fight that off. He was thinking the same thing I was, that a takedown could win the round.
Guillen landed another really good left hand. Final 10 seconds. Both guys looking to do some damage here to finish this fight strong. Big combination there from Delgado. Great fight from these
Great
amateurs.
fight, and this is one of those fights where I don't think if you're either guy, I mean, both guys probably think they've won right now. If you're one of the coaches, you've got to look at this as this is a coin flip. You can't be mad if your guy wins or loses this fight, because this is really I've got no idea who won, Alex.
Yeah, me neither. If anything, I'd say Guillen perhaps wins the first 2 rounds. I could see him winning a unanimous or split, but again, great experience from both of these amateurs.
Absolutely.
Especially for the 17-year-old in Delgado. Very valuable experience here tonight. If there's any standout in this fight, I think it's that straight left hand of Guillen. Again, didn't even really use the jab to set it up, but he didn't need to. You know, that's where all the damage in Delgado's nose has come from. And I think the aggression of Guillen was enough to give him the nod. We'll see what these judges.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The scores of 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27. Your winner by unanimous decision, Izzy Isaiah Delgado.
Great fight from both guys. You know, Guillen fought hard and did well. That's a performance you can be proud of. Perhaps it was the combination work of Delgado that had scored him a bit heavier.
I mean, the 30-27 card is surprising to me because, you know, it seemed like early in the fight, Guillen was really kind of in control. But like you said, it's a good experience fight for both guys. It's hard to be upset either way because I do think it was a really, really close fight. I don't like the 30-27 card because... And when I heard 30-27, my initial thought was, well, that's a Guillen win because the clearest round was the first, in my opinion.
Sure, and you know, it's no uncommon trait for sometimes the judges to disagree with some of the commentators.
Check, check, check. Okay, I am back. So, first match of the evening is in the books. That leads us to our second fight of the evening.
All right, please welcome to the blue corner, Josh Van.
All right, we have Joshua Van making his way to the cage here. There we see 19 years of age, going against 21-year-old. Fight will be contended at the flyweight division. And here we have Joshua Van making his way to the cage. He's 1-0 as an amateur. This will be his second Fury Fighting Championship appearance here. Going to be representing the Sons of Silverback. His last fight was a first-round TKO over our previous fight that we just saw over Luke Guillen. So there we have the final touches from his coach.
Scott Juarez, Tony Orozco's son. Obviously, the Sons of Silverback, an old school Houston MMA gym.
Yeah, fun fact, actually was the amateur and early pro career of Houston's finest fighter, Derek Lewis.
Absolutely.
Comes from that gym.
Yep.
Yeah, good fact there. Final check from referee Joe Solis for Joshua Van. Joshua Van, ready for action.
And look how humble Alex is, Houston's finest. Yeah.
Derek Lewis has all-time record in knockouts, has fought for the belt. I don't mind taking second place there.
Please welcome to the red corner, Americo Garcia.
Another fun fact, you mentioned the most knockouts in UFC history out of Houston. Charles Oliveira, most subs in UFC history, also still fights out of Houston, Texas. Pretty cool fact that both those guys claiming HTX.
Houston has been a hotbed the last couple of years as far as producing some of the best mixed martial arts fighters in the world. And we are thankful that we have Eric Garcia and Garcia Promotions promoting their awesome show with Fury Fighting Championship, giving Houston the opportunity to showcase their skills. And here we have amateur fighter Americo Garcia in his final preparations, making his way to the cage. Americo looking for his first mixed martial arts victory here tonight. His last fight was in December of 2019. He's had over a year off to try to sharpen up his skills. It's his second appearance here at Fury Fighting Championship. Americo Garcia, ready for action.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next match is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series Flyweight Division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This kickboxer stands 5 feet, 5 inches tall and weighed in officially at 124.8 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, he holds an amateur record of 1 victory, no defeats. Introducing Josh, the Fearless Van. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet, 4 inches tall and weighted at 125.4 pounds. Fighting out of Laredo, Texas, by way of San Antonio, Texas tonight. He seeks his first victory as an amateur. Introducing Americo Garcia. Your referee in charge, Patrick Patlan.
We've got a flyweight bout on our hands. Some pretty experienced amateurs. Both guys look like they're in good shape.
Joshua Van, Americo Garcia. Referee Patrick Patlan about to call the action, and this fight is officially underway. Feeling out process in this second fight. There we see Van coming out strong.
Both guys with a very low stance. Both guys looking to plant and punch. And kick.
He looks so relaxed, Josh does. Look at his face. I mean, he looks like he's grocery shopping. I mean, this guy, and both these guys in their second amateur fight, the difference between fight 1 and fight 2 for nerves is just unbelievable. So both these guys probably feeling pretty comfortable.
Yeah, you go through the process, you feel what it's all about, and so, as you're saying, Van looking like he's done it before.
You know, Americo's thrown 3 kicks out of, 4 kicks now.
Caught him with a check left.
Van looking to follow up. Can he finish this? Americo trying to keep his composure and get back to his feet. He almost does. Van coming on strong. Referee Patrick Patlan takes a close look at the action, but Americo able to swing the tide and try to score this takedown. Single leg now. Can he finish it?
Joshua Van using a lot of energy here, looking to get the early finish.
Lift there by Americo, puts him on his butt.
It's funny. I mean, we talked about this last fight. You know, Van dominating this fight, at least through the first minute and a half, and now a takedown, and he could be here for the rest of the round. And then the judging becomes iffy on even if there's no damage done. And right now, there's been no even attempted damage from Garcia.
Yeah, those of you that are not familiar at home, the amateur fights are 3 3-minute rounds.
America doing a really good job tying up the legs. It's something you see UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov do. I learned this position is called the throttle mount, and it's a great way to stop the bottom man's hips from elevating to try to hit get-ups.
Van working hard there to pop up to his feet, but America does a good job there. Wrestling position there with the underhook and then over the head. Has to transition now back to the double leg. See if he can plant Van back onto his seat.
Was able to actually do some damage on the get up there. So Garcia with the round not wasted altogether here. And now I think judges are really going to look at this control, and that's going to factor in heavily.
Yeah, damage, duration, and domination is what the judges take a look for. And thus far, we see the duration of domination here by Garcia.
Like an exceptional job controlling the legs and hips of Van, who's on bottom. And one thing I think Van should reconsider is throwing some of these body shots from this bottom position. It's going to waste a lot of energy and really not do any significant scoring.
Just under 15 seconds left here in this second round. Van doing a good job in trying to work his way back up and throwing punches at the same time. Round 2 in the books.
It's tough. I mean, tell me what you think, Alex. To me, that's a really close round because the damage, the real damage that was done in that fight was by Van early in the round, but just totally controlled for the last minute and a half.
I'd say when Garcia kind of planted to throw that kick and Van had thrown the punch and effectively dropped him, I think that was the heaviest score of the round.
And there we see that just right there. That knockdown that you were talking about earlier there. So damage on the feet, score for Van, but control and domination for Garcia. So what are the judges looking at?
And you as a former judge, it's got to be difficult to not take heavier account into the last half of the round, the most recent thing you saw.
As a judge, the first thing that they tell you to look for is the damage. Damage is #1. So if we were scoring it on damage, we'd have to give Van that round. Garcia did do better grappling positioning, but what damage did he do from those positions?
No, yeah, really none. Garcia does like to lead with kicks, and you can see Josh Van's really planting his feet looking to box. We'll see if Garcia makes that adjustment and perhaps stays a little more light on his feet.
Good shot by Van over the top.
Van swinging hard.
Oh, he's so aggressive.
Wow.
That big left got through there.
Joshua
He's in
Van
trouble.
swinging away. Americo Garcia is trying to get control of the action and stop that flurry with a takedown attempt. But man, got Joshua Van just coming on strong here in the second round.
Van with a very strong underhook. Garcia's got his leg off the ground. Van needs to really look to make connections and keep his hips low. And again, these strikes, I think, are hurting his chances to win this takedown.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of a waste of energy here. I mean, I was going to say there's a possibility he ends up on top in that position, but
you can see Garcia's very trained in controlling the hips and really locking the legs down. That's something you don't see very often. It's such an effective tool to use after securing a takedown.
especially against the cage right there, where it's easiest for the down guy to get up. It's tough when you don't have legs.
I'm actually curious to see if Garcia's going to go for, there's a double knee bar attempt there with the figure four the legs and push your hips down onto the extended legs there. So we see Van working his way back up to his feet.
He sacrificed his whizzer to post there, and Americo's looking to get to his back. Staying really tight, now looking for that lead leg trip.
I think we've seen a business decision get made here, and you know, Garcia's really decided that his best path to victory here is not going to be standing in front of this guy.
Right, yeah, we can see why Josh Van won his first fight by TKO. He hits hard and he's pretty accurate.
But even in these grappling exchanges, he's still looking very calm, very relaxed. And they call that leg wrap Khabib.
Yeah, you hear Americo's coaching's calling for it, and again, a very effective way to really limit the hip, potential for the bottom man.
You saw it last night with Islam Makhachev against Drew Dober. I mean, you used it beautifully.
Just under a minute left. So duration and domination now. Some of the factors we got to put into account in this scoring.
Americo's got a really deep underhook with his right side, and he was looking to hand the wrist off. They call that a wrist ride. They also call it the Dagestani handcuff. And Joshua Van doing a great job getting back to his feet, but he's got to get that separation.
Yeah, Garcia's doing more damage while grappling this round than he did in the first round. I mean, he may have actually taken this round as opposed to last round where it was a lot of holding him down. This round, he was able to do damage in the exchanges.
And Van trying to steal the round there.
Yeah, I say that.
Oh, man.
The first 10 seconds of the round, the last 10 seconds of the round, all the damage was done by Joshua Van. Again, that's a harder round to score than you'd think.
Yeah, definitely. Because the duration that Amerigo had with the grappling positioning, you never see Van right there in the replay just swinging for the fences. Amerigo had no choice but to try to get a grasp on things with that takedown attempt.
And it would be one thing if Americo was able to take him down and mount him and have some control time, but he was effectively trying to finish these takedowns and secure dominant position without really achieving the goal. So the takedown scored, but was not able to do much damage in Americo Garcia. We'll see how these judges score this fight.
Yeah, curious to see what Americo's coaches are saying to him right now. If they're going to opt for him just to go for another takedown. I mean, if they're seeing how aggressive Van is with those strikes, they might try to tell him to play it safe and put him on his butt.
Americo is looking like the fresher fighter going into this third round. We'll see what kind of flurry potential Joshua Van has left.
I have a good feeling that Joshua Van should be coming out strong in this third round.
Yeah, Alex, I don't know if I agree with you on that. I feel like Van, he doesn't seem like he's wearing any real damage. He doesn't seem like he's breathing heavy even. I think both these guys still have a lot of gas left in the tank.
Oh, spinning
That's a
back
good
kick
shot
there by Joshua Van.
And those spinning back kicks usually crafted to the body, but he threw that one to the face, and that next spinning back kick to the body. Really good diversity in the elevation of his kicks.
Joshua Van now, gamesmanship trying to entice Garcia into a slugfest. See Garcia trying to time his entry, looking for the right opening, while Joshua Van is stalking his prey, looking for an opportunity to land a big shot.
I think Garcia is looking for that takedown opening is what he's looking for.
And Van's doing a great job tracking the movement of Garcia and trying to hit him with those big hooks.
And Van this round is not rushing in like he did in the last couple rounds. He got taken down in those rounds. I think he's fighting at a better distance now, making sure that it's tougher for Garcia to get to those legs. He's getting in and backing out.
Yeah, he was doing a good job there at cutting off the cage from Garcia's movement. Now we see them close back to the center. And I think you're right there, AJ. I think Amerigo is looking to time that entry in, see if he can put Van back on his seat. Because right now we've seen like a lot of bombs thrown by Van.
And Van's doing a good job, throwing a punch and then with a similar motion throwing a kick. Hard to predict.
Van now picking up the intensity, seeing if he can get a finish here.
And Alex, you know this as a guy who you fight a different distance with a guy who wants to bang with you versus a guy who wants to take you down.
Right, yeah, and you can see if Americo Garcia is looking at a takedown, he's going to have to get busy.
He's in trouble.
Joshua Van now looking to end this fight, finishing strong. He's got just under a minute left, and he opts to let Amerigo stand. He's got a lot of confidence on his feet.
That right hand did some damage.
Yeah.
Scored another knockdown.
He timed that right on the entry to a shot, and he telegraphed that shot. His coach was yelling shot, and it was very, very obvious that he was jumping in there.
It's very disheartening for a fighter whenever you get put down and then just let back up like that. It's like your offense is not working.
A stiff jab there from Joshua Van.
And here's the deal, though. I mean, Van has clearly separated himself in this third round, but we still don't really know how judges would have scored rounds 1 and 2. So on pride scoring, I mean, Van wins this fight, but 1 and 2 were much closer fights, or much closer rounds in this third one.
We'll see how this goes. Van with a strong finish. This fight is in the books.
Yeah, that was all Van's round. I don't know if it was a 10-8 round, but...
it's hard to have a 10-8 round in 3 minutes, certainly.
Yeah, a good fight all the same. I'll tell you, Americo Garcia, for taking the shots he took, has had great composure.
There we see them. Joshua Van swinging for the fences in that third round. Americo Garcia showing a lot of heart, being able to withstand the onslaughts of Joshua Van, landing that big leg kick towards the end. We will have a decision here shortly. We are streaming live here in Houston, Texas, Bayou Event Center.
Yeah, rare to see a spinning back kick to the head, of which Joshua Van had thrown and landed well.
All right, guys. Don't forget to watch our live main card at UFC Fight Pass at 4:30 Central Time. That will be here shortly. We are awaiting the decision of Joshua Van versus Americo Garcia.
Gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. With scores of 29-28, 30-26, and 30-26, your winner by unanimous decision, the fearless Josh Van!
Yeah, they did award a 10-8 round for that third round, and rightfully so. You know, he was all offense. He dropped him 2 times. It was a big win there for Joshua Van.
Joshua Van improves to 2-0. I'm sure we'll be seeing much more of him in future Fury Fighting Championship events. Congratulations to Joshua Van. And that brings us along to our third fight of the evening in the amateurs. Don't forget, if you're watching us live on the Fury FC Facebook, we will be streaming live the main card on UFC Fight Pass at 4:30 Central. You see the flyweight championship between Silva and Vergara go down in our main event.
Yeah, we're very, very lucky. We got 3 title fights tonight. Some of Houston's best fighters. Cannot wait for this main card.
We got Leo Martinez taking on Casey Jones. We got Cameron Graves defending his title against Macario. It's going to be an awesome night of main card action here shortly here in Houston, Texas.
This is the fastest moving event ever.
Yeah.
Considering we've had two decisions, they get them in and out in a hurry. No dilly-dallying.
And that brings us along to our next fight of the evening. As we have Zach Lowery taking on Justice Torres. There we see the tail of the tape as we have the 13-year-old Zach Lowery, 5'6", 145 pounds, taking on the 23-year-old Justice Torres, 5'8", 144 pounds. Both of them multiple-time Fury Fighting Championship veterans. This will be Zach Lowery's 4th appearance here on Fury Fighting Championship, and Justice Torres' 6th appearance here at Fury Fighting. Both of these featherweights looking to make a statement here tonight and advance their mixed martial arts career in pursuit to the bigger show.
Yeah, Zach Lowery was the Fury amateur 155-pound champion, and in defending his belt in his last fight, it was actually a draw. So he was able to keep his belt, and you know, he looks to drop a weight class now, and he's got a very tough opponent in Justice Torres.
He is really big for 100. His legs are huge, Zach Lowery's. You watch him back there in the back warming up, and it's like his legs don't fit his body. He's just a massive lower body guy.
Yeah, and one of his victories, he has a scarf hold submission, which is effectively squeezing somebody's head and arm from side control, and he got the tap out from it. You don't see that very often in fights at all, especially as amateurs.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and two fights down so far. Obviously, a very impressive first fight. I think for both guys, even Guillen in defeat. I think he probably learned a lot about himself and really put on a good showing. But Izzy Delgado, 17-year-old Izzy Delgado, really, really impressive showing for his first fight.
Yeah, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of Izzy Delgado in future Fury Fighting Championship fights. And then that was a good pre-fight to set up our second fight of the evening, as we had Joshua Van just showing a beautiful performance taking on Americo Garcia.
Yeah, and a fun fact, and Joshua Van fighting Guillen, you know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see our main card, be sure to join us on UFC Fight Pass. That starts at 4:30 Central Time, 4:30 sharp. UFC Fight Pass to see our main card as we have the championship fight with Silva taking on Vergara. Looks like we are back on our Fury Fighting Championship Facebook as we have 4 more fights on hand. As we have Zach Lowery taking on Torres. We're going to have Balderas and Magallon, Bastidas and Smotherman. And there we have Zach Lowery, our tail of the tape, taking on Justice Torres. Zach Lowery, 32 years of age, 5'6", taking on the 23-year-old Justice Torres, standing at 5'8". Zach Lowery undefeated thus far as an amateur, 2-0 with 1 draw. He'll be joining us here shortly as Justice Torres, 3-2 as an amateur. Zach Lowery representing the dark side. Justice Torres fighting out of Metro Fight Club. Both these guys have multiple Fury Fighting Championship appearances under their belts. Zach Lowery is the gentleman you were talking of earlier with just those tree trunk thighs. It's just quite the sight to see. A little bit unproportioned in a very intimidating way.
Yeah. And Alex was saying 2-0-1, just coming off that draw against Taylor Hickman.
Yeah, and that was back in December, so he went 5 rounds in December. You got to know that he's still sharp, carrying over some of that training and then just the experience of going to 5 rounds just a few months back. I mean, you compare that to Justice Torres. Torres' last fight was in November of 2019. So he's coming off of well over a year layoff. Man, we're so used to being at these things till like 11:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're not even at 7 o'clock yet, and we have only 4 fights left.
We'll be getting the swing bouts underway momentarily. We need all officials in the cage side.
Yeah, for those who weren't on Fight Pass, a lot of cleanup to do. Our main event, these next 4 fights are swing fights that were supposed to happen before the main card, but didn't get done in time. And as you can see, a very, very bloody and violent main event you missed on UFC Fight Pass.
But that was epic. But here we go with our first swing bout of the
Business
evening.
with these swing bouts. H-Town, are you ready? Please welcome to the blue corner, Zach Lowery.
And here we have, making his way to the cage, Zach Lowery, 5'6", 2-0 as an amateur, 1 draw. His last fight was in December over Taylor Hickman for the vacated championship. It went a full 5 rounds, fought to a draw. Looking to bounce back from that and put a victory in the win column over Justice Torres. There we see the final touches for Zach Lowery. And Alex, as I was mentioning, this is the gentleman that AJ was mentioning that has those tree trunks for thighs.
Oh, yeah. You know, and he dropped down a weight class. He was even thicker at 155.
Zach Lowery, ready for action.
Please welcome to the red corner, Justice Torres.
Here we have Justice Torres making his way to the cage, 5'10", 3-2 as an amateur. His last fight was November of 2019 as a first-round TKO victory over Brandon Cancino. Brandon Cancino was 3-0 at the time, so he was the first to defeat that man. So you know that gives him a level of confidence going into this fight whenever you're the first person to beat an undefeated fighter.
Oh, yeah. And again, as I was saying before, Zach Lowery has a submission win by a scarf hold. And for those that don't know, that's when you're in top side control. You grab your opponent's head and arm, and you bridge back and squeeze the air out of them. It's a very unconventional submission. And to see somebody get a victory by it just kind of shows their grappling's got to be a bit unorthodox.
Yeah, that's just a high-level submission artist. There we see the final touches for Justice Torres. His last fight, as we're saying, was against an undefeated fighter, so now he's taking on another undefeated fighter. See even if he can be the first blemish on the record of Zach Lowery. Justice Torres, ready for action.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series Featherweight Division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed in at 145.6 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, he holds an amateur record of 2 victories, no defeats, 1 draw. This is Zach Lowery. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 144 pounds even. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, he holds an amateur record of 3 victories, 2 defeats. This is Justice Torres. Your referee in charge of the action, Joe Solis.
Zach Lowery looks, I'm sure he gets this a lot, but he looks like a lumberjack.
Yeah, and he looks fired up. He is not taking his eyes off of his opponent, and he's mean mugging him. I don't think it means any disrespect. He's just ready to go to war.
And this fight is officially underway. Zach Lowery, Justice Torres.
I know in Zach Lowery's last outing, he went 5 3-minute rounds, and it was a draw. So he was able to keep his belt, but he's since moved down a weight class. He's got very unorthodox striking. Like he likes to throw front kicks to the face.
Yeah, those front kicks to the face can do a lot of damage. They catch to the nose. Break a nose there from a proper angle. We see Lowery in on the double unders. Well, at least just 1 under. Seeing if he can go into a single leg takedown or even a double leg takedown. But good job there by Torres to use that underhook to rip over.
I don't know that you can rip him all the way over. That's a strong dude.
Yeah. So I know when you get like an over-the-top overhook and you can connect your hands and you can reverse from that move, it's called the cement mixer. It's a reversal technique you can do from bottom closed guard as well.
Lowery working hard for the takedown.
Yeah, these dark side guys known for excellent grappling.
See how Torres has control of Lowery's head? That's what you want to do against somebody that's in on your legs, is you control the head, you control the rest of the body.
Yeah, this is very much so a Zach Lowery style of fight. He's very grind heavy, you know, if not on top, in on these doubles.
Torres doing a good job isolating that arm.
Oh, wow.
Defense the takedown.
Oh, gives him a little smile.
Justice Torres means business.
You see Lowery there taking a big deep breath.
Oh, that's not a great sign. We're
No.
less than 2 minutes into this fight.
He might be flat because he was about to be the next fight. So he was probably warmed up, ready to go, and then they had to transition into the swing bout. So
I would imagine that goes for both guys, though. They were both amped up, ready to go, and then told to sit down for the next 3 hours.
yeah, that all comes down to who's going to handle that better. Because it is no excuse. You're given the same circumstances as the other man. So
Yeah, and Todd, and you know that experience well. You fought on a Strikeforce card back in the day that Alistair Overeem was headlining, and you were the swing bout, and you had to fight close to 12 o'clock p.m.
man, that took a lot of psychological just balance of just keeping your mental composure and just watching the rest of the card as you get bumped up to the end. So that's what these guys are facing right now. Oh my goodness!
Big high kick from Justice. Zach Lowery turns away. It's not the response you want to see. Justice going in for the finish, picking his shots, landing good left hands.
Oh, and Lowery survives. Man,
honestly, it looked like he wanted out of there.
It sure did.
Man, he ate that kick.
His hands are down, telegraphing those shots. Justice got to stay patient, but he'll find his opening.
I was right about to think or suggest was Lowery playing possum with his hands down like that, but I think he got clipped.
See, using all that energy to score a takedown with 2 seconds.
That does nothing for you.
Not very smart. He's already kind of tired.
The round was decided at that point. I was just thinking the same way. You want to control him against the fence and avoid any further damage, but you don't want to, give it everything it takes to get a meaningless takedown at the end of the round.
Nice takedown defense there by Torres using that overhook. And let's see if we can take a shot of that kick that Lowery ate. Oh, right there in the face.
Lowery's hands down, changing levels for a shot. And Justice Torres saw every bit of that and welcomed it with a high kick.
Man, credit to Lowery for eating that and being able to shake it off. I think he caught like right in the forehead.
Looking at his face now, he's not even wearing really any damage.
So, easy round to score.
Yeah, that's a Justice Torres round for sure.
Just a matter of whether the judges wanted to give him like an extra point for the damage done in that round. I would say it's a solid 10-9.
Yeah, I think that's a 10-9. I don't think there was enough to warrant a 10-8. There wasn't sustained, beating him up, but certainly controlled the round.
Round 2 underway. Let's see if Zach Lowery can come alive in this round.
Zach Lowery's striking is so unconventional with his hand placement, his rhythm.
Almost that Tank Abbott style with that one hand down, one hand across the face.
Yeah. Actively switching stances, kind of allowing the kicks to determine his stance, but without a lot of, traditional martial arts training. It's a bit unorthodox.
Justice Torres trying to measure his entry, see if he can land something big. Walks into a takedown attempt by Lowery. Has good takedown defense, has proven that thus far.
I was going to say, Justice needs to wait for those shots and try to time a knee. He's got to pick his punches there.
And now he's holding on, not really, it's just desperation.
This is the toughest spot to be for a grappler, is when you have a guy with confidence in his takedowns and you're just gassed.
Heavy hips there from Justice.
We call that the dump truck takedown defense.
So Justice knows Lowery's going to try to enter low. So I think it's the uppercut or the knee that's going to do the trick.
Torres looking very confident right now. Clearly has control of this fight.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I keep seeing things that make me think that Lowery wants out of this. Like that slouch down against the cage right there. It's just it's bad body language, and they're a deep sigh. These are alarming things.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, AJ.
And his hands are just so low. There's your Tank Abbott guard there, Todd. AJ, I'll never forget your pro debut. You fought a guy with very, very bad striking. And you told me after the fight, you were like, it was hard to time him because he was doing things so wrong, so different. And I think that's what Justice is working with right now. Lowery's entries are so unorthodox.
Yeah.
He's struggling to really catch a beat.
I think any striking coach would attest how much they don't like to work with brand new people who are so choppy with their movements, with their striking, because you don't know if you're going to get clipped by something that is just so crazy.
Well, it was odd for me because I was working with all of my coaches, all of my training partners really had superior striking to me. And when I got in with someone who was just on such a low level, it was almost awkward because I didn't know. I only knew how to respond to good striking.
Yeah, and when guys enter in when they really shouldn't, you know, they can actually land a strike.
Just under 10 seconds left, and Lowery once again looking for a takedown. Just under 10 seconds, and as we were saying earlier, is that really the best call to expend whatever energy he has left in those last 10 seconds for something that's not going to score very much.
Yeah, Justice Torres definitely a fresh fighter going into this third.
I mean, he's not even looking for a stool. Zach's sitting down without a stool. I mean, this is... He's in real trouble.
Never see the replay of the takedown defense from Torres, just punishing Lowery on his takedown attempts. So at this point, you have to wonder, what is Zach Lowery's coaches telling him if he wants to win this fight, that he's got to go for broke?
You know, he's definitely a grappler, and he's not able to get his fight to the ground, and every time he tries, he's either getting countered or getting tired. I mean, normally you'd say Hail Mary strike, but I just don't know if that's in the books.
I don't think so either. I mean, it's fun. I mean, obviously you've got to be looking for an answer. I just don't know if there is one right now. It feels like Torres is just better everywhere right now.
Yeah.
And right now, especially physically, there's just a gap between how they've both handled these last 6 minutes.
There we see Lowery's coach, I'm sorry, Justice Torres' coach, the experienced Saul Solis.
I mean, he looks like he looked at the beginning of round 1.
Yeah. See, this is where a good jab would really come into play, because then Justice could just keep, you know, Zach at range with that jab and find the moment to land that bigger shot. And, you know, jabs don't require too much commitment other than a minor step forward.
And I'll be honest, starting off the round with like a jumping knee, like this is expended energy that's doing him no good. He doesn't have the energy to spare, I don't think.
Once again, going for the takedown, Lowery. If he does score it, what will he do with it? So,
yeah, well, at least this isn't a waste. Like, getting the fight to the ground is actually an avenue of success for him. A flying knee like that, I don't think that was going to work.
I'll tell you, when Lowery does go pro, if he does go pro, he cannot sit in on these singles and doubles, because when elbows are allowed, it's a very common strategy. The crowd appreciated Justice Torres' the dump truck defense to this deep double.
He's almost looking for a pile driver. I don't think that's legal here.
So many just unusual counters in wrestling. Of course, we know the oil check, well, that dump truck is like intended the opposite, where you spread the cheeks and drive him to the floor.
You see Justice looking consciously to his coach for instruction. You know, Lowery doesn't have his hands together, but he does have tremendous pressure going forward. Justice,
but again,
he's got to dig an underhook and turn him.
We're running out of time in this fight. Like, something's got to happen for Lowery. Like, this pressure is doing him nothing in a fight he's clearly losing, and he's got a minute and a half to finish.
I'd like to see Justice maybe try to go for that Kimura again. That was fun to watch in the first round.
And I think he heard you.
There it is.
Time is running short for Zach Lowery.
You know, Zach is in on a single, but covering up. I don't think he's got the intention to finish.
Then what are you doing?
Yeah, at this point, just trying to survive to the end.
There's one. Well, almost.
Almost head was out of position to finish that takedown.
And it still is. I mean, he's not getting it off to the side.
So if I'm Justice, perhaps he doesn't know the technique, but hitting a switch from here could be very advantageous as well. That's where Justice would dig his right arm under Lowery's right leg, kind of switching the hips and switching the angle.
And I think Lowery is busted up. I see some blood pouring.
And what Justice is doing right now and just kind of pushing his head to the mat is working. And Lowery doesn't really have an answer for it. So, you know, there's 30 seconds left. There's no need to do anything risky here.
No, not at all. I think if Justice could find a small gap to hit some strikes and just consistently land, the ref could even stop this. Because you can tell Lowery's not in this fight to win it. He's busted up in his nose pretty bad.
Justice Torres on his way to cruise to a pretty easy victory here in this featherweight division.
Yeah, I think Justice is exploding here.
Oh, one last flurry from Torres. Can he put an exclamation point on this fight? Torres finishing strong here.
Oh, and he got the TKO win with 1 second left in the fight. Justice Torres, 3rd round TKO victory.
Joe Solis opts to stop this fight.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
In the amateurs, certainly the right move.
Justice Torres improves to 4-2 with that stoppage victory at the 2:59 mark of round number 3. So
it's often when guys win, their first instinct is to get out of the cage immediately.
I mean, you're so relieved after a fight. I mean, there is no compare. I mean, as you two gentlemen know, I mean, whenever you win, there's nothing that can compare to that elated relief that you feel. The first thing you want to do is go and just...
Yeah, the relief's a good word. You know, everything you work for months comes to a close. And I'll tell you, when you fight and you lose, that relief is never there. And, you know, sometimes guys go years without that feeling. It's tough.
And then we see some highlights of the fight. We see that head kick early on from Torres. And just no offense scored really from Lowery. Just a unsuccessful debut at featherweight for Lowery. Looked quite flat in this particular matchup.
Yeah, I wonder if that weight cut just zapped him.
That is possible.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Solis calls for a stop to the action. 2 minutes, 57 seconds into the 3rd round, declaring your winner by TKO, Justice Torres.
Just consider he went 5 rounds in late December, and you've got 2 months basically, not only to get ready for your next fight, but to also cut to a weight that you've never cut to before. That's a lot.
So Lau actually fought one of my guys, and he almost got TKO'd in the 5th round. The reason it was a draw is because that was a 10-8 round, and 3 judges have given him 3 rounds due to his wrestling. But he always just tries to grind, gasses out, and then has, you know, mixed success. Justice Torres, a guy to certainly look out for in the future. He's young, he's skilled.
And that brings us to the tail of the tape of our next match as we have Tyler Magallon taking on Lalo Balderas. Magallon, 24 years of age, 5'8". Here we go.
In the blue corner, Tyler Magallon.
Not much is known of Tyler Magallon. This will be his mixed martial arts debut. You know, he trains with the Sons of Silverback over there with Scotty Juarez. There we see him weighing in at 143.4 pounds. Taking on Lalo Balderas. Lalo, 36 years of age, 5'9", 144 pounds. 12 years age difference between these two fighters. Got Magallon being the younger fighter of the two. There we see the finishing touches from the corner of Magallon. Tyler Magallon, ready for a successful mixed martial arts debut.
Welcome to the red corner, Lalo Balderas.
Yeah, Magallon, a raw but talented prospect is what I was told.
We shall see as we have Lalo Balderas making his way to the cage. This will be his 2nd Fury Fighting Championship appearance. Currently stands at 1-0. His last fight was December, a couple months back of 2020. 1st round arm triangle choke victory over Jared Sanchez. Seeing if he can make it 2-0 tonight. And the big question here, will that age factor into tonight? 12 years age difference between these two fighters. Also, how will the debut factor into this match? As Tyler Magallon, first time stepping into the cage. Going to be taking some live rounds. We'll see how he handles those nerves and that pressure.
I'll tell you, in my experience, when you see an older amateur, they're doing this for fun. They're doing it for the challenge, not to make a career. And generally, those guys come in very prepared because they have very realistic expectations. I'd like to see how Lalo does in this fight. I know he comes from a good camp and has good experience prior to this fight.
Yeah, kind of the opposite of you, who started at 17. My first fight was at 31, 32. So. And I had no aspirations of going to the UFC, but I wanted to push myself, test myself, and I made sure I was damn ready to do it because I didn't want to go in there and get knocked out by some 20-year-old kid.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, This boxer stands 5 feet, 8 inches tall and weighed in at 143.4 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, tonight he makes his amateur debut. This is Tyler Magallon. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This Muay Thai and BJJ fighter stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in officially at 144.6 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, he holds an amateur record of 1 victory, no defeats. This is Balderas. Your referee in charge of the action, Patrick Patlon.
All right, here we go. Tyler Magallon, Lalo Balderas. This bantamweight fight is officially underway.
It's our last amateur fight. We have 2 pro fights coming up next.
Man, look how, just right off the bat, look how relaxed Lalo is.
Yeah.
Very confident, very relaxed.
He's looking to set up some kicks.
Yeah, very little wasted movement for Lalo. Magallon is excited, obviously.
Yeah, it's one thing to take those punches in practice, but now he's going to be facing some live rounds, and Balderas is not going easy.
Well, in practice, your teammates, your coaches, they don't want to hurt you, and you really can't get the real feeling until you're in there with someone who wants to hurt you.
Sure.
Man, those kicks from Balderas, he's really throwing some heat with those.
Yeah, he comes out in the tight trunks, expected some good low kicks.
Is that all I needed to do?
Just put on some tie shorts?
That's a good first step.
He's landing it. You're right, Todd. Lalo just looks so calm, so confident right now.
You have to wonder, too, he's 1-0 as a mixed martial artist, but I'm curious if he's got previous Muay Thai bouts under his belt.
You know, he's got a traditional Thai tattoo on his calf. I wouldn't be surprised. Good low kick to a lead hook.
Good straight right hand there by Balderas.
I'll tell you, 2 or 3 or more, and Magallon's gonna know he's been getting kicked low. It's gonna really slow down his movement and take a lot of pop off his punches.
Oh. Oh boy, he's in some trouble here.
Lalo needs to stay tight and find those shots.
You know, I don't know much about Magallon's grappling capabilities, but if he's got some, he may want to break them out.
Also, Lalo is also a triathlon Ironman finisher, so you got to know that has a lot of confidence in his.
He's an athlete.
Conditioning.
You know, Magallon is actually, you know, handling his low kicks well. He got dropped once, but he's not. Well, he just switched stance once.
30 seconds left in this
really
opening round.
Good front kick there from Lalo.
Once again, bringing the thunder with those leg
wore
kicks.
That one a little.
Yep.
10 seconds left in this opening round.
Yeah, I don't know how many more of those he's going to take. And like we said, Magallon, not very experienced, so switching stances may not even be an option.
No. And then, you know, if those low kicks are doing damage, he's going to start to bite every time he sees Lalo's hips turn. If I'm Lalo, I'm going to throw a right hand over the top after a couple of
there
low
we
kicks.
see those leg kicks, highlights of just chopping away.
Yeah, there's levels to amateurs, and it's obvious that Lalo's got some experience outside of MMA. This is not what a one-fight amateur looks like. It's just not.
You know, and in his last fight, he won by submission. You know,
and in addition to that, I mean, in addition to training for this fight, he also did a 50-man Ultraman run in preparation for this fight. So he's quite the endurance athlete. But anyone that finishes that Ironman triathlon, I mean.
Tyler didn't take a stool between rounds, so.
I'm not a big fan of that, personally. Some guys feel that if you sit down, it'll kind of maybe tense up your legs, so they opt to stand.
I went to 1 second round ever, and I swear I cannot remember anything that happened between rounds. I don't remember anything that was said to me.
Yeah, that takes some practice.
Some guys like it for the intimidation factor, thinking that their opponents get intimidated, seeing them not opt to rest in between rounds like that. But
I don't think you're going to intimidate a guy with a tattoo on the back of his skull like that. Not by standing up. That's not enough. Oh,
good
landed a big shot,
A
though.
good exchange of right hands.
there we go now. Now the fight is broken out in this matchup, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, see, this might be his best path.
Make it ugly.
Yeah. Because standing and trading technically with him is not going to work.
Oh, and then
Balderas
in
with
the
the bloody
brawl.
nose.
In the brawl, Magallon lands a good lead hook.
And Balderas had those hands low throughout the majority of the fight. Magallon taking advantage of that, throwing some looping shots, and now he's scoring big.
Oh, he's hurting.
Magallon's got to be patient. He needs a little bit of space.
You can see the excitement in Magallon's face.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Tyler Magallon.
What a turn of tides here.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to the corner. Scotty Juarez in the corner for I assume, telling him to just slop this thing up.
And slop it up. It's become.
My.
And it's working for him.
Much different energy now in the air.
And now a
Oh, he's
guy,
rocked another lead hook from Magallon.
a guy who felt like he couldn't get anything right in the first round now has some confidence.
And has done some genuine damage.
Oh, yes. Enough that we've got to break out the blood shield.
Oh yeah, Lalo's nose is busted up. It's flowing.
Still plenty of time, minute 15 to get some work in. This round has been all Justice Torres. I'm sorry, all Tyler Magallon.
Man, the referee got close to maybe stepping in there.
Lalo's hands are down now. He's moving slower. I mean, I don't know how much more he's going to take. He looks out of it.
You know, the story of the fights today, got to be some come from behind knockouts. Cameron Graves earlier, taking damage in the first, getting a knock on the second. Jacob Silva almost finishing the fight and getting finished in the third. Lalo's still in it. He's swinging hard. His defense isn't quite there.
Oh, boy.
Tyler Magallon just keeps coming on strong.
Yeah, Magallon, he pointed at his chin and said, "You can't hurt me."
I thought he was complaining to the ref about a headbutt, but I could be very wrong.
No, I think he was riding on him. It could be, but maybe a little both.
Just under 15 seconds left now in this matchup, in the second round, as Magallon scores with a takedown.
We'll see if we can get a replay and see if there was a headbutt there.
So swing of the tide as Lalo Balderas takes the first round, and Tyler Magallon comes on strong in the second. Pretty easy fight to score thus far. It's going to come down to who wants it more in the third and final round. Here's some highlights from round 2 that we got to see. And we see the start of the offense.
I love the excited fist bump when he lands his first big shot.
And he got hit too.
Yeah.
Much different expression on the face of Balderas now than there was to open this fight. Look of concern now.
You know, this is where maybe fighting a young buck plays against him, because the youngster he doesn't mind the exchanges.
And hey, this is Tyler Magallon's very first fight. You know, you feel that excitement. He thought he had a chance to possibly finish it, and he was trying to jump on it. Very fun and relatable excitement seen in that. All right, third and final round. This comes down to who wants it more.
Doctor checking in on Balderas right now.
No, that's not a good sign. The referee says, when the doctor stays in this long, he's questioning, making sure he knows where he's at.
These are amateurs, you know. The leash is shorter. He's letting him go.
Good on that doctor making sure. These guys aren't getting paid.
Yeah.
If he was concussed, he should not be going out to a third, which he's not. So this is a great competitive third round coming up.
Who's crazy enough to do this for free?
All three of us were.
Yes.
And these two warriors. And I'm surprised Magallon hasn't gassed. It's his first fight.
Cardio beast, it looks like. He hasn't even looked tired. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but in my first couple fights especially, that adrenaline dump that hits you is just crippling. And I haven't seen any signs of it from him.
Yeah, it takes a lot of composure to be able to train and be prepared for that.
Yeah, after my second fight, it went all 3 rounds, and it was a brutal one. I couldn't even drive home. I'd have my coach drive me home. Oh, big word from Magallon. Yeah.
Wow.
Tyler Magallon wins his mixed martial arts debut.
That was a pretty early stoppage.
I think there was a short leash on him already.
I agree.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good call. No arguments here. Tyler Magallon.
The doctor barely let him go back out there, it looked like.
And Lalo Balderas, be proud of that performance. You know, he fought hard, fought this reversity, did well. I mean, that stoppage was kind of out of his hands, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, he'll understand.
And as we're saying, these are amateurs. I mean, there's no need at that point. So here we see some highlights of the action that went on. There's from round 2 where Magallon was able to score some offense. And then Magallon was able to close the deal in round number 3 and get a TKO victory in his first outing. Pretty sure we'll be seeing more of Magallon in the future here at Fury Fighting Championship.
Yeah, the referee was looking to stop that fight if Lalo was going to take any extra damage. And again, that's safe. If that's a pro fight, it's a little bit different.
All right. Here we get the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Patrick Petlon calls for a stop to the action. 48 seconds into round number 3. Declaring your winner by TKO, Tyler Magallon.
Tyler picks up his first amateur victory.
Here we have the tail of the tape of our upcoming matchup. We got Mario Bastidas taking on Cameron Smotherman. Mario standing at 5'10", 32 years of age, taking on Smotherman, 5'8", 23 years old.
Please welcome to the blue corner, Mario Bastidas.
Bastidas coming in all the way from Venezuela. This is his second fight as a pro. Lost his first fight, looking to catch his first professional victory here tonight.
Yeah, and actually his last fight was in November of 2012. So 9-year break for Bastidas.
He's well built. I'll tell you, his opponent, Cameron Smotherman, Cameron's good, very sharp, trains at a great gym. He's young, he's very committed. He's a huge favorite, minus 435.
So it's almost practically like both of these gentlemen making their pro debuts, because Bastidas was so long ago. It was in Venezuela, so.
You know, there could be a chance he fought on maybe some cards that weren't either recognized or even documented. But that's a long break.
Are you saying Venezuela is Louisiana now, or what?
Yeah.
I've been to my fair share of fights in Louisiana.
Yep.
There we have Mario Bastidas, ready for action.
Please welcome to the red corner, Cameron Smotherman.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised the commission's allowing those shorts.
I am too.
They
The
have
elastic
pockets.
gym shorts.
I think he found those shorts at YMCA.
And here we have, making his way to the cage, Cameron Smotherman, 5'8", 23 years of age, making his professional debut here tonight at Fury Fighting Championship 44. 3-1 as an amateur, all in Fury.
You know, in his one amateur loss, he actually ran it back and got a victory by finish.
So there you heard it, avenging his only amateur loss, looking to start his career off right. If he can defeat the 31-year-old Mario Bastidas. There we see the final touches for Cameron Smotherman as he's looking to a successful mixed martial arts debut.
and Smotherman's training partners are Leomano Martinez and Jacob Silva, two of our champions this evening.
Yeah, Leomano Martinez
did not win the championship because he missed weight.
Gentlemen, the
that's right.
following contest is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury FC Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighed in at 135.4 pounds. Fighting out of Maracaibo, Venezuela tonight, he seeks his first professional victory. This is Mario Bastidas. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This striker stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighed in at 134.6 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, tonight he makes his professional debut. This is the babyface killer, Cameron Smotherman. Your referee in charge of the action, Professor Joe Solis.
All right, here we go. Mario Bastidas, Cameron Smotherman.
He's got the right shorts on now. I think he's got to take those over shorts off after.
This fight is officially underway. Wow, Bastidas bringing the fire early.
That was a heavy front kick.
It's almost like Pat Smith, UFC 4.
Heavy pressure early. You guys are looking for an early finish or has cardio for days. It's going to be hard to maintain.
Man, Bastidas just looking like the larger man here, imposing himself.
Certainly the larger man. And one thing, you know, we were talking about, it's been a long time since he fought, but Bob Perez in his corner, and Bob's not going to put somebody in there that's not
prepared,
ready. And I think this guy may have some more time in the cage than we know of.
You know what? And his shorts look very professional, and he's got an old school 4-ounce logo on him with Bob in his corner. This guy's been in the game for a long time. I struggled to find any information on him.
You know, as did I. So, but we see him just enjoying top position now, really taking control in this professional fight.
That's a risky strike right there.
It's a really good knee to the solar plex from top open guard. You don't see that often. Anderson Silva Chael Sonnen's one of the few times you saw it actually pay off.
That's somebody with a lot of confidence in their striking. Can Smotherman weather the storm here from Bastidas? Bastidas just bringing the fury.
It looked like he was like, Todd, you'll get this reference, when they tried to body slam Yokozuna and they tried to pick him up, but they couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah, I definitely get that. They just couldn't quite get him up.
And then I think Lex Luger finally did it.
Wow, really good over-under trip there from Bastidas. I mean, this guy's good. He's big, he's in good shape, and his grappling technique has looked excellent.
Yeah,
so far.
he's technical.
You know, I think this fight on paper looked like a good debut, but more challenging.
Smotherman trying to do what we call like the ghost escape.
And he's in a really bad spot here because his face is completely exposed, unprotected. Well, he's out of it now, but...
And with his back exposed, not much better.
No.
Yeah, I went from one bad spot to another. Those always suck. It's like going from mount to back mount.
Yeah.
Just went from one bad spot to another.
Smotherman not looking like he's phased by this very frenetic first pace.
No, he's handling this well.
And as we mentioned earlier, that top half guard position is just a beautiful spot to land some ground and pound.
I mean, you just saw him pass up on an opportunity to go full mount.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't want it anymore.
Yeah, it's harder to control somebody in the mount when they have all that, their hips exposed to explode out of there. The timekeeper's making a mistake. It should be 5-minute rounds. Hey, 5-minute rounds.
Cool, yeah, never mind that clapper. We've fixed that mistake. I hope the referee isn't waiting for the 10 seconds and confused.
Yeah, nobody gave him the heads up.
It looks like he's ready to call time. But Joe's super experienced himself. Perhaps he knows there was a mistake in the timekeeping.
Fighters are fighting on. Trying to give the heads up to the referee that this is a 5-minute round. This is a professional bout.
Cool, I think Joe's hip to it now.
Yeah. His posture's changed.
good call on that, because we've been victims of that for fighters that we've cornered, where the commission just, you know, they just make a mistake and mistake a 5-minute round for a 3-minute round.
You know, and when you're going from amateur fights to pro fights to amateur fights to pro fights, you know, that can happen.
It's not a mistake, but I think it's happened a little too many times.
Oh, good body kick.
Bastidas not looking so fresh.
Yeah, I think Smotherman kind of got tired of the way that fight was going.
Smotherman coming alive now. Spinning back fist.
That drops Smotherman when he's up.
I can't believe he popped right up from that. That landed super flush.
Man. Bastidas pulling something out of his bag of tricks.
No, I actually think he's gassed.
Yeah,
Smotherman knocks down Bastidas. Can he finish this? He's got 22 seconds.
What allows him to get back up?
He's hurt. They're going to stop it. He can't get up.
14 seconds. Smotherman, he can actually stop this fight.
I wonder what's up with Bastidas' leg, if anything.
And Smotherman, round is over now. Smotherman finishes strong. Man, a lot of confusion done. The round is over.
Just the round, didn't he?
Smotherman's coach.
Well, it's important for these fighters to keep their composure.
Yeah, clearly it should be upset.
Things like that are frustrating for a fighter, and more for a coach even.
No, definitely. Those are things that just shouldn't, you know.
Your mind is fragile when you're in there as it is. Like,
Well, and then even for the ref, you know, their focus is to watch the fighter, so they're waiting to hear the 10-second clap, and they're waiting to hear the bell, not see it.
So, I mean, kind of a weird round to score, kind of reminiscent of Holyfield and Bowe, where the first half of the round was dominated by Bastidas, and then some crazy thing kind of happened toward the second round is completely taken over by Smotherman.
yeah, I don't know how you score that round, and the awkwardness at the end there did us no favors, because it almost looked like he couldn't continue.
This fight's over. They called it.
Yeah.
Bastidas has an injury to his knee. He's choosing to not enter into the second round.
Cameron Smotherman wins his professional debut.
By TKO.
Weathered the storm, came out on top. Congratulations to Cameron Smotherman, being able to stay composed and come back from a disastrous first 2 minutes of that round. Very impressive victory for this 23-year-old. Looking forward to seeing many more appearances in the future for Cameron Smotherman here at Fury Fighting Championship. And that leads us to our final pro fight of the evening after we get the official word. There we see Smotherman's coach, Saul Solis, happy with the results. Yeah, that was interesting, that enigma of Bastidas, where not much information, he's kind of a sleeper. It was a lot better than the information on him led on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially 10 seconds into round number 2, declaring your winner by TKO, the babyface killer, Cameron Smotherman.
Cameron Smotherman, victorious in his debut, and that leads us to our final professional bout of the evening, as we got Chase Eastham taking on very popular fighter in the Houston area, Jonathan Davis. Always brings a large crowd following with him. There we see Chase Eastham, 32 years of age, 5'6", taking on the 23-year-old Jonathan Davis, who stands at 5'10". Going to be an interesting matchup. Jonathan Davis coming off of a loss back in December of 2020.
Please welcome to the blue corner, Chase Eastham.
And here we have, making his way to the cage, Chase Etham. 3-time Fury Fighting Championship veteran, 2-2 as an amateur, 2-2 as a pro. Stands at 5'6", 26 years of age, representing Premier Martial Arts. His last fight was October of 2018, so coming off of a 2.5-year layoff. We'll see how that comes into play. Well, actually, I'm sorry, more like just under 3 years. So yeah, I had it right. We'll see how that comes into play. Go ahead, Alex.
He's 2-2 as a pro. One of his losses came from Sinjin Curran, who is a fighter here in Fury, but he actually fought him again and ended up getting a win. So he's avenged one of his losses, and he's looking to get that record in the positive range, but he's got a very difficult task from Jonathan Davis.
Asa was saying that he feels he's finding the right division. He worked on a lot of strength training for this fight. He says he struggled against a lot of the stronger opponents. So he's trying to change divisions and also pick up his strength. So we'll see how that comes into play. Because he's taking on a very polished fighter in Jonathan Davis. Chase Eastham, ready for action.
Please welcome to the red corner, Jonathan Davis.
And here we have, making his way to the cage, Jonathan Davis. 5'9", 23 years old. As we were saying, a very popular young fighter here in the Houston area, has a very large following. One of those fighters that has special permission to compete at age 17. 5-2 as an amateur. 4-2 as a professional. His last fight was in December of 2020. Looking to bounce back from that defeat.
Yeah, he went 5-2 as an amateur, and all of his fights were tough. And even now, he's 4-2 as a pro. 23 years old. He's a very experienced young fighter.
And, you know, as you were saying earlier, AJ, you're talking about a 5'8" flyweight. Well, this is a 5'9" flyweight in Jonathan Davis, and he's a legit 5'9".
Yeah, he uses his range well. He's got really crafty grappling and good sharp striking. You know, as a coach, he's everything you want one of your students to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, your final swing battle of the evening is for 3 rounds in Fury FC at a catch weight of 130 pounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet, 6 inches tall and weighed in at 130 pounds even. Fighting out of Polson, Montana, he holds a professional record of 2 victories, 2 defeats. This is Chase, the Rooster Eastham.
All right.
And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner.
Now that would intimidate a guy with a head tattoo. I think we all
10 inches tall and weighed in at 129 pounds. Fighting out of Houston, Texas, he holds a professional record of 4 victories, only 2 defeats. This is the gentleman, Jonathan J-Boy Davis.
All righty.
Your referee in charge, Patrick Patlon.
So,
I hope Chase is ready for for J-Boy here. Gave him a battle cry.
this fight is officially underway.
Oh!
Wow.
Flying into an ankle pick.
Jonathan Davis making him look foolish. Able to snatch that ankle out of the air and put him on his back.
J-Boy landing a good elbow from the top guard position. He's got to control the hips of Eastham here, the Rooster.
I love taking advantage of the other guy being overly aggressive to start the fight.
Jonathan Davis looking to make this into a quick night, seeing if he can score some quick ground and pound and stop this matchup.
He can really shut down the hips of Eastham by putting his head on the cage. Really trying to curl him up into a ball.
Chase Eastham now trying to get his hips back under him, maybe go for a guillotine, but he's giving up position.
Big takedown again from J-Boy here from that body lock.
Man, Davis was having none of that. It's been very fun to watch Davis's career, watch him progress from boy to man.
And he's such a crafty grappler. One of his coaches, Daniel Pineda, some of the best submission grappling you'll ever see for MMA.
Yeah, very unique submissions.
He's almost got a head and arm here. If you can clasp his hands and flip over to the side.
Yell it to him, AJ. Coach him right now.
No,
I think
that's
Jay
not
was
my job.
opting for the mount,
Well,
and then maybe to the back and
good call.
heavy into mount.
And now to the back. Really good transitions.
Oh, that's deep.
Shinya Inoki style with the
That just hurts.
He's going to get the tap here.
I think so.
Jonathan Davis with that forearm across the jaw.
I'll tell you, props to the Rooster for getting out of that.
Now
Nice
he's got
under the
his
chin.
And this one's a lock.
This
That's
one's
it.
looking like a quick night.
And there's a
Jonathan
submission.
Davis improves to 5-2 with the rear naked choke victory.
That was really impressive chain grappling.
Absolutely.
Wow, dominant performance from the young Jonathan Davis. Getting things back on track after that last outing. Glad to see him back in the win column. Improving to 5-2. Has a long career ahead of him. You're going to be seeing a lot more of this young man in the future, especially here in Fury Fighting Championship.
You know, flying whatever to an ankle pick. I mean, that was awesome. Ankle picks come easy when the person's jumping at you.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. I've actually never seen that. Just snatch that ankle right
I
out of the
haven't
air.
either. I love seeing it. I've never seen anyone do that. I don't know why more people don't.
You know what? I think the guy's foot also kind of landed near J-Boy's hand. That's a hard one to identify and execute.
Hey, you saw it here first. Fury Fighting Championship 44. And there's the beautiful finish from the very technical Jonathan Davis. Just textbook.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 1 minute, 39 seconds into the very first round. Declaring your winner by way of submission due to a rear naked choke, the gentleman, Jonathan J-Boy Davis.
All right, gentlemen. Well, that looks like it's about to wrap it up. What an awesome night of Fury Fighting Championship action. JJ, thank you, sir. Alex Morano.
Yeah, this was a pleasure, guys.
Outstanding fights.
We've been watching fights together for a decade. Can't wait to be on the next Fury card. And a very stacked card with high expectations delivered, especially those championship fights.
So Jonathan Davis topping off the card with a rear naked choke. We saw some awesome matches there with Zach Lowery taking on Torres, and then Smotherman.
Von Burner and Lawler.
Yeah, that was one of the best fights of the night for Magallon to get that finish. Really impressive. So great night of fights altogether. Capped off here with Jonathan Davis with a nice submission win.
All right, gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, good night from Houston, Texas.